Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 1 of Bachelor of Dice podcast, a podcast about Marvel Dice Masters, Avengers vs. X-Men, the brand new dice building game from WizKids. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jesse, and with me is
Kevin
and Adam.
So today we're going to look at a few things in our podcast. We're going to look at some of the newest news from WizKids. We're going to look at our initial impressions of the game, mostly the product, physical product. Look at some of our impressions from our first few plays, do a few card reviews from the starter set, and then we'll wrap it all up with where we're going in the future and kind of what to expect from us and anything that's going to be coming up soon. So we'll start off with the news. I think Kevin, you have some stuff prepared for that, right?
Yeah, well, a couple interesting things came out. Obviously, everybody was aware that release day was April 23rd, last Wednesday, and from what I can tell, I'm surprised Board Game Geek hasn't shut down as a result of this game coming out, because it's just nonstop posting action. Actually, funny stat that I had looked up right before we started right before we started recording was there are 48 pages of threads, and if you had to guess, how many of those pages would you say there were before April 23rd?
Do you actually want us to guess?
Sure.
I want to say like 4, maybe 6, 4 to 6.
I was 7.
Okay, well, you're actually both wrong. There was like 20 pages before April 23rd, but since then there have been over about 25, 26 pages of material generated on Board Game Geek. So yeah, and I would say 90% of those are Target related.
That's funny.
So yeah, last Wednesday the game officially released, and immediately the president and CEO of WizKids released a apology, I guess, which as of now, interestingly enough, I cannot find on the WizKids website. I don't know what happened to it, but I click on the link and it says, sorry, you've reached a page that doesn't exist. So either the guy's not sorry anymore, or they just posted it and then took it down a little while later. But basically, he kind of went through the history of the game and, you know, what happened with the Gamma Trade Show and all their pre-orders and the production in China and wah. And then went through a bunch of rumors that have been spreading about games being released early and them being found at Big Lots. I myself went to a Big Lots looking for them, could not find them. So yeah, I can attest to the fact that was probably a rumor. And then rumors about where the product was going, whether it was going to big box stores or game stores or where it was getting allocated. And from what I understand, it was basically allocated across the board, which kind of makes sense. Interesting story that I heard at my game store. I went there on Wednesday night for a release event, talked to the manager there, and he kind of gave me a little bit of a scoop that he had pre-ordered a ton of product months ago because he really assumed that this was going to be a really big game. And then at Gamma Trade Show, it blew up, even though Gamma Trade Show happened after the pre-order window closed. Well, it blew up so much at Gamma Trade Show that apparently WizKids reopened the pre-order window, and anybody that was late to the party still got allocated some games. And it was kind of the reason that a lot of people didn't get their full pre-orders, is because WizKids kind of distributed across the board instead of honoring all the pre-orders first, and anybody that was late to the party saying, sorry, you have to wait till the second wait. That may or may not be true. I don't necessarily know, but that was the story that I got from a somewhat bitter game store owner. Although he got, I think, 20 starters, so he was pretty good to go.
He got 20 starters?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know what his order was like, but I'm guessing it was pretty massive if he got 20 of them.
I know with GermanGames.com, they said they ordered 80 and got 20, so that could be roughly maybe the same amount that he had on order.
I know my local store, he ordered sometime last year, actually, and he ordered like a box of starters, which I think is about 15, and he got 2. So it's probably a certain ratio. He only got 1 box of boosters, and he ordered like 8 of them.
Ugh.
He ordered 1 box of he ordered 8 boxes of boosters and got 1.
So, I've been told that they kind of allocated, even though my impressions from some of that apology was that they didn't allocate. I'm kind of a little confused about what actually happened.
I read that they allocated the starters, but boosters weren't. That they should be freely available.
That's the impression I've got too from visiting various stores, is that no starters can be found anywhere, but boosters can be readily gotten.
Right.
I know at my local store, when I picked up my starter and the booster box, he told me that they had nothing on order until I came in because they did hero clicks. So I ordered stuff and they only ordered 1 box and 1 starter set as well, which is unfortunate.
I found the apology that you were talking about, Kevin.
Yeah, it's still on the Board Game Geek website.
Right.
Somebody had basically copied it and pasted it into a thread.
Right. I know the link you're talking about. I'm pretty sure that it also didn't it have a link to the PDF for the new, like the print and play stuff?
Okay.
Is that the same? Is that the same link? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have that pulled up separately.
Oh, okay. Because I was looking at that today, and I thought it was the same thing, and then now I can't find that print and play link either. Whatever. But yeah, I have that
okay.
apology thing up too.
So yeah, that was interesting, and I mean, a lot of people weighed in on that too. I think one of the funniest posts that I saw was somebody posting a picture of a glass of milk with a giant chocolate chip cookie that wouldn't fit inside, and it said "First world problems."
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And a lot of people have said, in a month when everybody has the game, we'll all forget about this day. But for this week, it's relevant.
I find it funny. I think that post was actually removed.
Which one?
The cookie one.
Oh, really? Was it?
But which kind of segues into what I wanted to say. Like when we were talking about how many posts were kind of new, it's funny because I think their moderators are actually moderating every post that's coming in through here. Because I've had a few of mine get flagged and they talk to me about really dumb, like really small things like misinterpretations. But it's good to know that they're, even in something that's getting this kind of volume, they're doing a good job of moderating everything.
Okay. So the second bit of news was let me see, was I guess more of another apology of sorts, in that they gave everybody a link to a PDF to help print proxy cards so that you could essentially play a starter set of action cards, and you just have to provide your own dice and obviously print out the PDF that they provided. You wouldn't have any of the character cards that go along with it, but if you have a bunch of boosters, then it really shouldn't matter.
Right. I assume none of you guys used it.
I looked at it, but I haven't had the need to use it.
Right.
Yeah, same. I took a look at it, which was cool to see. It looks like they modeled it after one of the users on Board Game Geek who actually made his own cards. Like, it almost looks identical. Yeah. They contacted him asking if they could use his idea more or less and then actually put in an official proxy.
Wouldn't surprise me. I know they do a lot of freelance stuff.
So yeah, I don't know how easily you guys got your product, but I had ordered, I mean, I told you this already, but I had ordered the game through eBay a couple months ago, actually, and early last week got an email from them saying, yeah, sorry, we're not going to get starter boxes, so let us know if you want a refund or if you want 15 boosters instead. We've got plenty of those. And so I said, all right, well, I'll hope that I can get a starter somewhere, so just send me the boosters. Well, Wednesday, sure enough, I went to the release event at this local game store who got 20 starters, and unfortunately, he had 20 guys that had already pre-ordered, and he had just enough to fill those pre-orders, so he didn't have a single extra copy for sale. So I was without there. then I was hoping that Target would get their allocation in the coming days. So I basically camped out at those stores and have been to several over the past couple of days, still not to find any. And there was one other local game store that I ended up calling on Friday who said, we'll probably get our allocation on Saturday or Sunday. And so I figured, okay, I'll go each day this weekend and see what they have. But Friday after work, I said, you know what? It's on my way home. I'll stop by there anyway. Sure enough, walk in the door and see a box of boosters sitting right on the front desk and thought, oh man, I please have a starter set. Get up to the front of the line, ask the guy, please tell me you have some starter sets. The guy says, you know what? We have one. I was going to keep it for myself, but I'll go ahead and sell it to you. And I just couldn't thank that guy enough because he really made my whole weekend.
Nice.
Had it not been for that, I would have been without for probably until even this recording. I probably still wouldn't have it.
Do you have a story of how your stuff too, Adam? When you ordered and kind of when you got it or what you got?
I know I ordered probably 2 days after the Watch It Played video went up. And then I went on the Wednesday release morning, or I guess afternoon, to see if it was in. And it wasn't. They told me check back Thursday or Friday because the order got delayed, which made me hurt inside because I just assumed I'd be getting the second printing. But then I went there Thursday and they said no again, come back tomorrow. And then when I went there Friday, the guy was just unpacking it. And then, yeah, and I was lucky enough to grab all of it. So I had to wait a couple of days, but it wasn't a big deal. So I got it Friday as well.
Nice. Uh, for myself, um, I don't know. I kind of assumed from all the posts and kind of the hype that Rodney, the Watch It Play videos and the Dice Towers videos, they kind of hyped it up quite a bit. So I kind of anticipated it being pretty big. So I kind of placed a second order around that time just to cover my butt, just in case, from a different source. So I ordered from Cool Stuff and from Miniature Mart, as well as I pre-ordered from my local game store. So I was like, just in case. I have a bunch of friends who are ordering, like about 10 of us, so it wasn't like I was ordering 2 boxes from every place for myself. But yeah, our miniature mart order got sent actually before um it was released. Like they sent us a confirmation of shipping like a day before. So it's not like we got it early, but it was in the mail before the release date. And yeah, we got that yesterday, and me and two friends. So we opened up all our stuff and played a bunch last night. And I got my stuff opening day from my local game store. The guy was kind of reluctant to sell me the boosters because he didn't get any extras, and I felt kind of bad. I'm like, I know I have other ones coming. I should probably just leave the store, but he had no starters to sell, so it was kind of would have been silly for me to leave them. So
you're not gonna need these, so I'll just take them. Thank you.
I was helping him. I was helping him give him a peace of mind, not having to have them sit there wondering how to play with them, or have somebody come in and buy them and then come back and be like, "Hey, I can't play this game."
Yeah, I mean, one way or the other, he was making his money.
For sure. But
you bought the entire box?
I did. He gave me a good deal on it too, less than $1 a booster.
My guy charged me $59, which I was a little bit bitter about, but at the same time, I couldn't really complain.
Just charge you MRSP.
Yeah, $59.99.
There's a lot of hobby shops that are selling it for more than $1.
Really?
I noticed that. Yeah.
Wow.
Like I've seen a lot of $2 boosters and a lot of like $2.25.
Wow.
It's my impression that at least in Canada, a lot of distributors are selling roughly to the stores 50 cents per booster. So so if they sell it for MRSP, they're making their 100% profit out of that. But yeah, when you're marking it up to $2, it's a little ridiculous, especially if there's a Walmart or a Target near you where you could just go buy buy them for half the price.
Yeah.
Has it been available anywhere in Canada other than the local game shops?
I've looked. I haven't seen any.
Yeah, I know I've been into Walmart that's right across my work probably Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just checking for friends and nothing.
Hmm.
I know they announced officially that it was being carried at Targets and Hastings. I didn't see them mention Walmart, although I won't be surprised if they end up there.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought Walmart was gonna be. I thought I read something one while back. But yeah, we found a bunch of starters at Target in Bellingham, Washington. So we ended up picking up those for some friends and having few extras. Also, Fred Meyer also carries them.
Oh, okay. That was it for news, other than, well, apologies to my wife for the last podcast. A
Yeah.
rookie mistake of podcasting. Don't listen to it with your wife in the car, uh, and especially if you mention her, and then have to look over at her while you're driving and say, "Oops." I really didn't even realize that I'd said uh, that I didn't think she was up to the task. Which, oh my God, why did I even throw that phrase out there? I had no idea. But uh,
Was it referencing your moving?
oh, was it?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think I remember you mentioning her. Like,
It was mentioning the fact that I was hoping that she would play with me,
oh,
and
okay,
I didn't
okay.
think she was up to the task. And it was, and it's not to say that I don't think she can handle the game because I think she would be fine with it. It was more to the point of there's a lot of moving pieces to the game, and I don't think she would keep interest in it for that long. If there were too many characters, I'll put it that way. Uh,
Sure.
she likes games like Ticket to Ride. She actually likes Marvel Legendary a lot, but there's not too many rules to the game. When you get a game like this that has a lot of timing issues and rules and stuff, I'm sure she could handle it. It's just a matter of whether she really wants to or
Wants
whether it's
to.
going to keep her interest.
Sure.
I know you're being very selective with the words you're using right now,
He's a smart
because I
man.
assume she's gonna hear this as well.
I'm trying. So if you're listening to this, honey, I love you.
Listening through the door.
Yeah.
Bated breath. All
So
right.
yeah, that was it for news as far as I could tell.
Yeah, I have one thing for news, kind of, not really though. On the Dice Masters webpage, if you look at their gallery, they have pictures of the playmats and their packaging now. The one thing I want to point out, early on they said it would come in almost a reusable tube, so you could take it with you. But it looks like that's not the case anymore. It's actually just almost like a Saran wrap stapled with the card to hang it up on a rack, wrapped up. So that was just one little small thing that I wanted to bring up for not so much news, but a product that they were bringing out shortly.
That's too bad about the tube.
Yeah, I was actually looking forward to actually having a nice tube that might say Dice Masters on it, but yeah, it looks like they nixed that.
Actually, because I bought mine through Inked Playmats, my big one,
Mm-hmm.
because they mailed it through like a mailing tube, and I
Yes.
just kept that. It's like the exact same size as the playmat, and then I just bought. I was at Walmart and I saw some Avengers duct tape, so I just bought that and duct taped around it.
Hmm.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
So I have this duct tape tube, Avengers tube. It's pretty awesome. We can move on to some of our initial impressions of just the quality of the product, kind of what you guys got in your packs or how many packs you opened, and I don't know if anyone wants to volunteer up for going first and what they opened.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think the first thing that I started opening obviously was the starter pack, and I'm gonna complain about the tape on it because I was kind of ripped the actual box apart because I didn't want to get a knife or anything, and I kind of wanted to keep it, but I was way too excited, so I definitely ripped it apart. Yeah, I guess the starter kit, obviously the bags were disappointing that came with it, but I don't know about you guys, but I'm keeping mine for a keepsake because I actually like to show people them. It's like these are the bags that came with it, but we're not using these. But I just wanted, I love showing everybody the bags. 'Cause it's almost like the running joke now with everyone. It's like, do you want to use the bags? It's like, no.
Yeah, I actually saw somebody play with their bags last week, and after one game, they looked like destroyed pretty much. I mean, not ripped or anything, but they just looked very crumpled, which I don't know. Maybe it's not surprising for the what it's like, and maybe it'll last long without ripping. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave them folded in my box for a long time.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
even unfolded mine.
No. One thing I meant to do is actually look up Tyvek to see what all it
The
is.
material.
Yeah, I haven't looked it up yet. I meant to though.
Thought about looking up the same thing, but I just never did.
Yeah. Um, I guess with so that was the starter kit for me. The dice were pretty good. There's some, I guess, bad printing on some of my sidekicks, but it's nothing that would ruin the game or not make it playable. Just the standard, like some paint isn't there. Um, yeah. I don't know if you guys want to go with your starter kits and then we'll move on to boosters afterwards.
I don't know.
Yeah,
There's not much for me to say about my starter. Wasn't any surprises or any glaring issues other than anything that's already been stated. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, same for me. I was curious if you guys were tracking or how you were tracking what you have.
like booster wise.
Yeah, or I mean, just overall dice wise. Actually, somebody posted a MDM inventory Excel spreadsheet on Board Game Geek, created by, let me see, Major Oracle, I guess, that I downloaded and started using almost immediately. So basically, every time I opened a booster, I would manually enter in which cards I got.
Okay.
It's been a pretty useful tool for, or I think it'll be a useful tool for then going back and having an easy summary of, okay, I've got this many dice of this character, this many dice of this character, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I know for me, I did a similar thing. I know which post you're referencing to. I just did my own thing, but I used an Excel sheet after the fact, like after I opened everything and kind of inventoried everything. I have my Plano box that I have all my stuff in, and I didn't put any duplicates in it. I'm trying to build this box to be whatever, like a ideally a full set of everything, and then I just have my duplicates in another box. But I have all my dice like in these little bead bags. So like my Hulk dice, there's like six of them in one bag or five of them or whatever the max for Hulk is. So that way I kind of know that I already have all the dice I'll need in that box, and then I have all my duplicates in my other one.
Okay.
But yeah, I have all my stuff written out in an Excel sheet of what I have for trade, I guess. My trade bait.
I went the opposite way and didn't record anything. I literally just ripped open the packs and separated them and put them in card cases to flatten the cards right away.
Hmm.
Um, I was in a hurry when I actually got everything, so I was leaving on a mini trip. So I actually didn't get to play for I think 3 days after getting it. So I
Worse.
just left everything at home. Yeah, I just left everything at home and let all the cards flatten, and which they all did. But yeah, I didn't record anything.
Me and my friends were actually talking about this last night. We were like talking about how the card stock was supposed to be allegedly like similar to Magic the Gathering, which clearly it isn't.
Hmm.
But one friend was saying is like it's so bad that it flattens itself over time. Like the card stock, like I don't know, everyone who opened a few boosters got a few that were like really crumpled up. And if you just take them out and just I don't know, I just left some like they were on top of each other, but it wasn't that many, and they all just flattened themselves out over time.
I saw one guy had two cards stuck together, and one of them was a super rare.
Oh, I saw that picture. I felt so bad for that guy
Yeah.
because I had one booster like that out of two boxes, and I was like so scared to see what the two were, and then I opened it up I'm like, oh, imagine if that was a super rare.
How were they stuck together? I actually didn't see that.
I think at the bottom, it was the exact same way with mine too. I guess the sealing machine that kind of like puts that top gloss layer on, kind of like stuck, was like hanging off, and they're like stuck together.
Okay.
So the two cards are stuck, and when you try to peel them apart, it kind of ripped one of them,
Mm.
which happened to be the Black Widow super rare, which is
Oh.
the worst ever.
Other than the standard betting, I didn't have any issues with the cards, which was really nice.
No, and I mean, if you open a grab feed, you're gonna have so many extra commons that it doesn't even matter. Like I have four full sets of commons.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, the cards bending sucks, but really, it's not like you're shuffling up the cards and playing with them that often, right?
Yeah, for sure. The game's about the dice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. What do you? I guess looking at some of the your booster guys, do you guys want to talk about maybe list off maybe the worst dice, like say the hero with the worst dice, maybe quality issues, or the one that you didn't like so much, and then maybe the one that you thought was the best or popped the most for you, or
I think we're all going to agree on the popping for the two, but I'll start off with the worst. I don't like the Wolverine dice. I don't really dig the three marks. Like I get it, that's claws. It just they could have done a little bit more. I just don't like the color scheme either that much. And I mix it up with Rogue a lot.
if they reversed it like blue to yellow, it might look a little better.
Yeah, it's true. Well, then it would look like kind of like Cyclops, which Cyclops does pop.
Yeah, I really like Cyclopses.
And those are the two of the characters I have not opened yet. Oh wait, no, I do have a Cyclops. I'm sorry, but I was really disappointed that I haven't pulled any Wolverines yet.
Uh,
What was your favorite one, Adam? The one that you think will agree with you?
I have a tie for two, which is Mr. Fantastic and Green Goblin.
Okay.
Those are my two favorite just to look at.
I love the Mr. Fantastic Blue. The Future
Mm-hmm.
Foundations. It's pretty nice. I'm trying to see if I don't want to outrightly disagree with you without looking at a few to say.
I do want to take away which dice I hate the most. Sorry, it is the Wolverine. It's actually the War Machine.
Okay, that's what I was expecting from you.
Yeah, because you can. It's actually really hard to even see it. It's because it's almost the same color. But yeah, I think that's when I don't like the color scheme at all.
Yeah, I'm looking at Doctor Strange. I'm not crazy about those dice as much as I love Doctor Strange.
Yeah, his is just dark.
Yeah, it's just a little dark.
Do you have a favorite there, Kevin?
I wouldn't disagree with his Green Goblin assessment. I think you're right. It really pops. Although the other day I had put together a team with Green Goblin and Doctor Doom, and didn't realize how similar they were. I mean, well, they're not the same shade of green, but they're close enough.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the villains, you got Doc Ock, which is green and gold, and then you got Green Goblin, which is green and purple, and then you got Doctor Doom, which is mint green and black, and then you got Loki, which is green and yellow.
Huh.
So you got all
So Meg was the odd man out.
yeah. Well, Mystique is blue,
Oh, that's true. Yes.
but and Venom, I guess, if you want to say Venom's a baddie.
I think I like all the dice that have the characters' actual heads the most. So I kind of don't understand why they didn't just use their heads for all the dice instead of like Gambit having a card. But I guess his face isn't as recognizable as just a card. But
Yeah, some of them are a little more iconic, like the Angel Halo. I'm okay with.
mm-hmm.
Like Nick Fury with the shield symbol, maybe like it kind of means they can't really use much of their shield stuff. But
Yeah, I think whenever people look at the dice, it's always Doctor Strange that no one knows who it is.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well,
And I don't like and the Colossus as well. I think people get like who is it?
Yeah. Who's the Russian guy? Who's
Yeah.
the commie?
well, I didn't really say what I my least favorites were.
hmm
Um, Originally, War Machine was kind of like the one that I was at least liked, but
Yeah.
I think now the Things dice are like my least favorite, partly because they just I don't know, maybe they tried to put too much detail into like the craggy texture of his head, but the paint just didn't sit well with any of the ones I got.
Yeah, mine the one is really bad. I like the thing because it looks very Kirby when I look at it. Like that's the first thing I think of is Jack Kirby's art
Yeah.
right away. So I have a soft spot for him. But yeah, the paint definitely does suck on it.
Oh, I love the thing. I just that's what I was kind of disappointed with the most. And yeah, then I would say the War Machine was my second that I didn't like. But um oddly enough, the Deadpool dice, which are super simple, I like a lot just because all of mine that I pulled, they like the paint sat perfectly in all of them, especially his like logo.
hmm
The colors don't necessarily pop, but I really like those. And then color-wise, I really love Mystique's dice, that blue. But my favorite is Nightcrawlers. I don't know if any of you guys like held a Nightcrawler dice up to the light, but they're like see-through blue if you have them like.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I accidentally knocked it off the table, and as I was like picking it up on my knees, I'm like, oh, this thing is see-through.
Oh, holy crap!
Yeah, I thought it was black.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That was live just for the podcast.
Wow, you blew my mind.
Plan that for you guys.
That's my mind blowing up sound effect.
Yeah, that took the cake
Wow.
as soon as I noticed that. I'm like, that's pretty cool. You don't really notice unless if you're in a weird lighting room.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty crazy.
Super vamp.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: how do you guys open your boosters? Do you take out the cards first? Do you shake out the dice and then kind of guess what cards you're gonna get?
I watched a video online of someone open up booster before I got mine, and so I saw how they were laid inside the packs, where if you open it with the front of the booster upwards, then you pull out, I think it's the card over top, the white card, so it covers them, but you see the dice.
Right.
If I remember correctly. So I'd pull that out and I'd see the dice and I'd roll them off and then I'd look at the cards. Okay. And that's how I do with every single pack.
Yeah, that's how I did mine too.
I think I started by pulling the cards, but I've since morphed into now just dumping out the dice and then pulling the cards.
Yeah, because the dice are what you care about in the end, where the cards, it's like, oh, I already have that, doesn't matter, but I want the dice even though I already have the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only weird thing with that was, I don't know, for whatever reason, whatever mindset I was in, but I dumped out the dice and got a Phoenix die, and I was like, oh man, I got a Phoenix die. This could be like a super ultra mega rare or something. Like I said, I have no idea why I thought this, and then I pulled out the card and it was the common. I was like, oh right, Phoenix has a common card.
Does she ever?
The weird thing that I found myself doing is halfway through a box and I didn't get a super rare, I would be every time I'd pull the dice out first, I'd be like, oh, none of these characters have a super rare. So then I'd be wouldn't even care about the cards. I'd just throw them aside without even like seeing what they were. So then I started like dumping the dice out, not looking at what they were, just so I could like take that one card and then hope that right when I like spread them apart, I'd see that sweet red line. But never happened.
That's actually true. I know when I was doing it, I was looking for Mr. Fantastic, Green Goblin, Wolverine, or who is the other person?
Black Widow.
Black Widow, yes. And I was just looking for those dice first, and that's what I was concentrating on. But I was still excited to see the different characters as well.
Right.
And I'm still surprised even looking at them, seeing how many characters there were. Like I knew there was is it 38 characters? I think it was, or cards.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, and even then, like just looking at them, like it's a lot to pick from, and I haven't even played with half of them yet.
It's pretty hard to play.
Or let alone, yeah, well, even just picking them, let alone fielding them.
Yeah, there's so much,
including Mjolnir and Vibranium Shield. 36 different characters.
And then those two, yeah.
But the spreadsheet that I was using, just to touch back on that, is also useful because it then tallies all the booster packs that you've opened, and then gives you percentages of what you're pulling. So currently I've opened 22 booster packs. I know I'm about 66% commons, 25 uncommons, and 9% rares.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
And 0 ultra rares.
So is it kind of accepted that you get 10 rares per box? Is that kind of...
I think you do if you get a super rare as well, but from what I heard, if you don't get a super rare, you might get more rares.
In all my boxes that I opened 2 and a friend opened 1, and we didn't get super rares in any of those 3, and we got 10 rares in both of them. And then one other friend who opened a box, he got a super rare, and he still got 10 rares. So that's a small sample size, but that's kind of what we...
I know that my box, I got 1 super rare and then 10 rares as well, but I don't know about uncommons or commons. I didn't count those.
I think that was just kind of random.
Mm-hmm. Which just shows they are planning on what cards are going to the boxes.
Which furthers my madness of not getting a super rare, so they plan that some of them won't give get them, which I don't know. Maybe they did per case of booster boxes. They had a certain amount of super rares allocated in them, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't help the guy who can't afford a case of booster boxes, let alone
Yeah.
have a need for a whole case.
I know I was reading some people saying that they go to different stores looking for booster boxes so they can buy just a random five out of one box, then go to another store and buy a random five, hoping that in each of those boxes they get five of the five packs to get a super rare from each store. Just like that hope instead of buying a bunch out of one box.
Sure.
Is that what's referred to as chasing the dragon?
Seems even worse odds to pull a bunch.
Mm-hmm. So my question is, for a game like Magic, how many super rares are there usually in, I guess, an expansion?
Oh, I think it's been a year, a little bit over 2 years that I've played, but I think it's generally accepted that there's about 10 to 15 per set, and per
Okay.
box you get four. I think it's 4 to 6. I don't know what it is now, but you would always get at least three when I was playing. But
Okay.
they call them mythics, and it hasn't been that long since they used mythics as a rarity.
Okay, because I know when they were saying that it's going to be a lot easier to collect the cards. I took it as because there's only four super rares, there's not as many to try and
Yeah,
chase.
that's
So when people were saying my box didn't have any or I only got one, people were saying like you lied, it's not as easy, but there's fewer, so you can get more of the percentage of the game with less purchases than let's say Magic. That was how I took it in, where I think other
I think
people felt
I think
that.
it's a better interpretation.
Yeah.
But I know for me, it wasn't so much that statement that got me going on that mindset, but it was more that they said, like, I think I'll paraphrase, but they said, like, the rare should be not that, or the super rare shouldn't be that much harder to get than rares. So that's what kind of
Hmm.
made me think, okay, maybe I'll get 10 rares and I'll get five super rares. Like, that's should be, or even 5 to 2 would be acceptable. But when you get zero to 20 is not the same. Slightly harder to get.
I'm not gonna lie, if I actually didn't get a super rare in my box, I probably would have
I
complained.
was so bummed. And two in a
Yeah,
row and didn't get any. That's so lame. But whatever. It's okay. First world problems, right?
yeah.
All right, yeah, I will, because I've been staring at this booster pack pretty much since we started the podcast, excited to open it. So this
Now, before you open it, should
Yeah.
we
I
guess?
say we should
Or
guess what it's gonna
is
be.
this,
absolutely.
I'm gonna see if there's certain cards that you would like to get, or even dice.
Yeah, at this point, I can tell you, there's several characters I have not even seen, including Wolverine, Professor X, Black Widow, Doc Ock, Loki. Have not seen a single one of him. Nova. I mean, obviously, I have a thing I haven't seen. War Machine. So, I would love to get one of
Oh
those,
wow.
common or not. But I'm guessing this I've gotten the most of. I can tell you, Deadpool and Doctor Doom. I've got 4 of each of those so far. So
Okay.
I'm guessing I'm going to get one of those two.
I'm actually hoping to get two Wolverines because I know I got two of the same
Oh,
dice in
did
a
you?
booster pack.
Yeah,
I've
I've
seen other
seen that a few
too. Yeah,
times too.
Well, that gives me hope.
yeah. So I'm hoping two Wolverines, and I hope one's an ultra
Oh,
rare
wow.
just for you.
Okay. I'm feeling strong energies. I'm gonna tell you that it's not an uncommon from the starters. I think that's a safe assumption. I'm feeling Hawkeye. Haw-
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna go Hawkeye and Venom. That's what I'm feeling. A
Oh, Venom.
common,
Yeah, that's
common,
I
common, uncommon.
would like to see Venom. All right, here we go. Peeling back.
I hear them.
We have a Cyclops and a Magneto.
Oh, not even close.
No.
Magneto I only
Whatsoever.
had one of. Hopefully this is a different one. Cyclops I only had one of. Hopefully this is also a different one. Pulling the cards out. We have Cyclops Slim,
That's the common.
which I have. Okay, great. Thank you. And Magneto Former Comrade, which is also common.
Oh, I was wrong in everything I said.
But I didn't have that card, so that
That's
at least
good.
gives me an extra option for Magneto and an extra die for Magneto.
Nice.
I'll take it.
So I guess my question is with all of your doubles of commons, what do you plan on actually doing with those cards? Since, because even on the secondary market, I can't really see them being worth anything almost. And
I put
to
Yeah,
asking,
I posted mine on eBay for like $5 for a full set of commons, and I haven't gotten anything. Um, I
yeah,
mean, I have these sleeves that are slightly wider than my sleeves I'm using for the game. So I'm put
mhm,
like four of those inside that sleeve, and I'm using them as a divider for my cards. So in my Plano
okay,
box, so that I can easily see whatever how I have it sorted.
yeah.
So
Going on about sleeves, I just want to jump in
yeah,
for a second. I know that we talked about when we were playing over Skype the other day. I got the Ultra Pro sleeves with the white backings. Um, if anyone's looking to get Ultra Pro sleeves, don't get ones with backings because the little Ultra Pro holographic circle will cover the starburst on the card for your second dice or for your second level dice. Not that it matters because when you actually roll the dice, you see the burst. But for a reference, when you're looking at the cards, if you want to see which dice have bursts, you definitely can't tell with the sleeves. So I probably have to re-sleeve every single one of my cards
I bought the exact same sleeves. Um,
with the
yep.
white backings.
I was so bummed as soon as I noticed. I'm like, oh, I should have thought about this. But
Yeah, I didn't think about it
I was
either.
looking through some of my other games that I also bought Ultra Pro sleeves for, and I guess a little while ago that they used to have that symbol in the top corner, which would have been nicer, but I'm
Hmm.
not sure if they still do that. But yeah, it's a bummer that I didn't notice that right off the bat.
Yeah. For the dice, Kevin, you said that you had only four was the max you had?
Yes.
Yes, and it was Doctor Doom and I'm gonna try and remember without you saying Thor?
That was Deadpool.
Deadpool, yes, that's right, okay. Jesse, what did you have that was like your higher, I guess, dice numbers per character since you got two boxes?
Well, out of the first box,
Mm-hmm.
my I had six Lokis out of one box.
Ah.
Um, that was my big one, and then I had five Novas and five of what was the other one? I think War Machine. I got five of.
Okay.
But what I was kind of referencing when right before Kevin opened his booster, me and my friends kind of found that the uncommon or the guys in the starters, their dice are the hardest to get because they
Mm-hmm.
only have an uncommon in the boosters. And uncommons are obviously rarer than commons, so your
Right.
chance of getting that character in a booster is significantly lower than any other character. So,
I did get an uncommon for every single starter but Thor. That was the only one I didn't get a third dice for.
right, so that's kind of what we found out of our boxes. If any of us, everybody got every character, and if you didn't, it was a guy from the starter you didn't get one from,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a bummer that I didn't really think about that. Initially, I was like, oh, so we're not getting those commons in the boosters. That's good. So I don't have to get duplicates. But then it's also harder to get extra dice for them unless you just buy an extra starter.
Yeah, I know with my booster box, I for the lowest dice I got two Mr. Fantastics, two Goblins, and two Novas. But everything else I got at least three or more. But I did get six Nick Furies, six Phoenixes.
I didn't get any Spider-Mans in my one first box.
Really?
And but the thing that bummed me the most is I only got one common Wolverine, and I was like, as
Oh,
a as a Canadian, how can that stand? I can't I just have one Wolverine.
I did get three Wolverines, so I was lucky.
Moving on, we're gonna talk about maybe our first initial impressions of our first few games or anything that jumped out. Um, I I know we've all played a few games now, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How's the game? How do you go? Does it stand up to kind of what you were expecting or what you were hoping for? Is it better? Is it worse?
I think it's definitely what I was hoping. I found that the first game I played probably took the longest with a friend, but once we jumped into our second game, the time frame was probably half of what the first game was because we got a lot of the rules down, and I think we used the same characters as well.
Yeah, I think character familiarity is gonna help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My first game took probably close to 45 or 50 minutes, and I mean I myself am prone to AP a little bit, and I think my opponent might have been as well. Um, so that obviously didn't help matters, but also being the first game that we were playing and kind of learning the character combinations and certain timing questions that came up. Yeah, I think it took a little bit longer than it should have. I think we could next time if we were to play that same game with the same characters in like another week, we'd probably cut it in half easily.
Right. Yeah, that's about same for me. My first game was the longest. I kind of found that I had a certain opinion after my first game with like some of the expansion stuff. I was kind of it was a little bit not as good as I hoped because I was running the Beast Mutant 99 guy, 999 or 666.
666.
Yeah, 666. And he has that ability where when he blocks he gets more dice.
Right.
And then he just kept dying and I kept having more. So every turn I'd have these four beasts that I could block with. And my friend was just like so soured that he could never attack me and I just kept having like 10 dice I could roll every turn. And it was just this big stall fest. So we were like, is this what the game's always going to be like? Like you could never attack until you just like attack with everything and then see what happens. And then if you don't kill the guy, then that guy just wipes you out. But then we played a few more games and found that it was just he didn't have a way to kill Beast outright. So yeah, kind of changed our opinions in the game.
Yeah, when I played with one of my friends, that's what he did was build up his force and then really didn't attack until his last turn, which then he won. Because his strategy was to let me forget about Spider-Man Wall Crawler, and then he reduced my life down to 10. That good old Spider-Man card. But yeah, I think if you build your forces in front of each other, then you get a better understanding of what the other person can do. But bringing in, I think just a blind team against each other, I want to say it'd be unbalanced, but there's definitely some combos that can be devastating compared to if you just bring a random team in.
Yeah. So far, I'm not really playing random. I've kind of been tinkering around with strategies and seeing what kind of things I like or whatever.
With strategy, I do have a strategy that I'm going to be using soon, which I'm going to quickly just plug. The Spider-Man where you can assign every opposing character to block him. That's going to be what I'm going to be using because when you have a certain Nick Fury card, any Avenger who attacks gets to attack twice. So they attack the opponent twice, which literally if you have Thor out there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something I'm going to be trying, but it's going to Spider-Man's a 5 and I think Nick Fury is a 4. I'm going to bring a Thor out, hopefully get a level 3 which will do 16 damage off the bat.
So you'll have Spider-Man suck up all of their blockers,
Exactly, yes.
and all your Avengers murder him. That's
hmm
pretty good.
That's my thought. It's of course luck of the roll to see if that will actually pan out for me.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys had a chance to play the game the other night via Skype. What did you guys both come in with, or did you kind of just throw together a team, or did you actually plan it out?
I didn't. No, I just kind of drew characters that I like and looked at their abilities quickly and decided if it would be good for what I was using. And it wasn't.
I'd like to start before the game that I beat you, Adam. I don't think we can quite count because the reason I beat you, I was playing the card wrong,
Okay.
so it really was a fake win.
Was it the Human Torch was wrong or?
No, the Deadpool.
Oh, okay, yes.
So
Well, I'm sure you would have beat me even without the Deadpool.
it's possible. The card in question is his Deadpool's rare, which I don't even know if I want to attempt to pronounce.
Oh yeah, I don't know either.
Chiyonosake? I don't know. Looks Japanese. Anyways, um, so when he attacks, he gets to assign the character to block him. And if that character's knocked out, this is basically after that sentence. I guess I misread or stopped reading. I don't know. But he's supposed to deal 2 damage to each opposing character. Where we were playing, he just deals 2 damage straight to the opponent.
hmm
So yeah, it just you would have taken so much damage from Deadpool. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of made a team that I was kind of wanting to see how it worked. I don't remember everybody I used. I was using that Beast again, but kind of the center of my team was like I was using Nova that can redirect damage and the Phoenix Red just for her global that can pay to make guys attack and stuff. But I don't even think I did that much.
No, I just remember the Human Torch. That was the one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Human Torch, where when you field a guy, you get to deal 1 damage to a target opponent, I think.
It was
To your opponent.
There was opponent and character,
I
wasn't it? Yeah.
No,
Well,
I wasn't using the Johnny Storm.
it was a flame on, right?
Yeah, I was using Flame On.
1 damage to a character or or player.
Yeah, I used that one so I could have his global as well.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, I've been using Johnny Storm against my friends.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, there's some neat characters that if you can just leave them in the field, their active effects can really make your game for you.
Yeah, my friend was using the obvious are like Captain America and Green Goblin.
Yeah.
But he was using stuff like that. There's the Colossus that deals 2 damage for all the. I think they're like guys that are level 2 or higher. It's his rare, which is a pretty good one to just have sit there, and then a bunch of all the Hulk cards. You just have him sit there and eat up damage and do his ability.
One thing I forgot to do during my games was double block, or even triple block. I just seemed so keen on lining up guys 1-to-1 that I forgot that you could send multiple blockers.
Yeah.
But I was up against a Nova, and he just was in the field pretty much as soon as he fielded him 1 time. Then he just stayed there because I had no way of killing him, except for the fact that I probably should have just double blocked him.
So kind of what me and my friends were talking about last night is, although you get to choose from 8 characters, it maybe not is the best strategy to pick 8 guys that synergize well, but maybe pick 4 to 5 and then have 3 situational characters.
Oh yeah,
totally. So like a guy that can KO a guy outright, or maybe like a Storm that can re-roll a guy that's really difficult to do damage to, or
a lot of people are talking about the Wolverine Knucklehead and how on earth do you stop it. And I think in that situation you need like that Phoenix Red or Mr. Fantastic, whatever you can use to force another character to attack so that Wolverine can't attack alone.
Right. Yeah, that's a good strategy.
Although then your opponent could just not field anybody.
Yeah.
So then you also need the distraction action card with its global ability of pushing a guy from the attack zone back to the field.
Yeah.
So there's definitely counters for it, but then you need to kind of, weigh that into your team build.
Mm-hmm. I think like currently I keep, like a lot of my friends keep running the Green Goblins and Captain Americas, and if you get a bunch of stupid sidekicks stocked up, it's kind of annoying. You can't do much to kill them because they're so thick now. Mm-hmm. But I've been running the Mjolnir rare, which does 4 damage to all characters, which is a good way to just say, okay, let's reset. Let's start this back at the beginning again.
I actually haven't used Mjolnir or the shield yet.
The shield is really good.
Mm-hmm.
The global is super good because you just pay 1 shield to give a guy 1 defense.
Yeah.
And we played a multiplayer game, a 3-player game, and that was like the most commonly used ability because we're just like always trying to keep our guys alive, saving our shields just so we can attack with our sidekick and keep them alive so we can block later, or that kind of thing.
Yeah, which characters you pick based on which global abilities they have is going to be an interesting part of the team build. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Looking forward to playing more games against different people.
Yeah.
Moving on, our last major point, just talk about kind of what we're working on now, or what to expect from us. Firstly, I'm kind of been in talks with some of the guys from WizKids and Mike Elliott I initially contacted today, and we're working on making a sort of FAQ type video that'll address hopefully each card specifically, and kind of go over how they're intended to work based upon WizKids provided rules. That way we have a quasi-official ruling on how everybody works, because I know especially on Board Game Geek, but even like the HeroClix Realms website where other people are posting, there's been a lot of questions on how a lot of different characters work. So hopefully we can get that going in a few weeks or something like that, and get that out to everybody as a resource that people can use. Keep an eye out for that in the coming few weeks.
But as far as a contest goes, I also did want to run one of those just to encourage listenership or as a thank you to the people who are listening to the podcast. And so I was just going to put it out there that I'm going to give away a free booster pack. All you have to do is send an email to us at bachelorsofdice@gmail.com with the subject contest. And I will ask a trivial question of, in episode 0, I mentioned personally a character that I was most excited about. I don't think I mentioned him tonight, so you'll have to listen to the first episode, the episode 0, to get the answer. But send me that answer to bachelorsofdice@gmail.com with the subject contest, and you will be entered into the random draw for a booster pack, which I will then mail to you in the next week or so. The contest will close, we'll say, May 9th. Whatever. I don't know.
Sometime after this is uploaded.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. This probably won't be uploaded for a couple days. So we'll say May 9th. Yeah, May 9th is enough time.
Next Friday.
Yeah. It's like it'll probably be about a week.
Yeah.
So we're not allowed to email you, right? We're not allowed to email
participants of the Bachelors of Dice podcast are not eligible.
And I feel like I know who it was too. Why?
But you can also check out our Facebook page at the Bachelors of Dice, just searching Facebook for the Bachelors of Dice. And that would also probably give you a very big clue as to what character I was most excited about. Oh, and it should be noted, too, that we are less than a month away from X-Men Days of Future Past, which I am incredibly excited to see on opening night.
Yeah. But we're not excited for Spider-Man, is that what you're saying? Which is like
a few days Spider-Man movie, I guess.
Like this week.
You know what? I really liked the first Spider-Man series. I haven't actually even seen the new one with Garfield.
He's so good. I like him much better than Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Okay. I like him as an actor. I just didn't understand why they were rebooting it so quickly.
There's a lot of controversy over the last movie just being chocked full of villains, and Tobey Maguire, a lot of people didn't like Spider-Man, but I don't know. I think what they're doing with the new one is good. I mean, it's nothing like the Captain America or Avengers related stuff, but my wife and I are going to see it on this Friday.
Yeah, I'll look at it. I'll take a look at some point. But yeah, I'm definitely more of an X-Men guy, and
so am I.
Can't wait for that movie. Although again, we've kind of strayed away from the dice game at this point. So if you're still listening to this, thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Just a quick reminder again, check us out at our Facebook page, Bachelor of Dice. And we also have our website at the same name, and our YouTube page, which is called Critical Hits Entertainment. So yeah, I hope you guys check out this in our next episode, and thanks for watching.